Welcome to the heavier side of RC icons. So in my recent unboxing video, I had a globe liner kit show up from Taiwan Kenny. And in my new unbox video, I showed my my Chrome Edition King Hauler kit that I had. So there was quite a response from people in the comments on those two videos saying, Keith, I want to see your trucks. I know this is a vintage RC channel and it wasn't my intention to showcase my trucks and construction equipment on this channel, but I figured let's show the heavier side of RC icons in a couple of videos. So in this video I'm going to showcase essentially my Tamiya trucks. I do have a Lesu truck as well that is assembled, but the body needs to be finished. In the next video, I'll probably break out the construction equipment because in front of me you can see a low bed trailer. And for those of you that are wondering, yes, this does detach via a servo. And I'll get in depth and show you the trailer here in a second. It's an engineering marvel. But in front of me here, I've got three Tamiya trucks that I've built. One of them is a stretched Aeromax triple axle. You can't even see the front end. Truck and trailer together, it's over 6 feet long, and it's got, let me see, 16, 18, 20, 22, no, wait a minute, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24 wheels and tires between the truck and trailer. And they're all aluminum. So yeah, this is I get some money in these trucks, but it is what it is. This is you know, I love building this kind of stuff. So yeah, I've got a stretched Aeromax, I've got a completely stock globe liner, and then I've got the Tamiya tow truck. Now this truck is 95% built. I don't have the lower clip on it. Still have to program the MSC in this. But I figured I would show it anyway. So I'm a year into this build. They just take that kind of time and you can get that kind of detail. But I'm also going to show you the Chrome King Hauler kit. I showed you the globe liner kit in a previous video, so I'm not going to break that one out. But we'll open up the Chrome King Hauler kit, and I also want to show you a power ramp deck, or power tilt deck kit, or you know, deck assembly that I bought from RCP. And I'm also going to give some shout outs to some channels that specifically deal with these kind of trucks if you guys are interested. Bob at Hobby Concepts on YouTube is an unbelievable truck builder. Unbelievable. Probably one of the best detail modelers I've ever seen. And if you're interested in a truck but it intimidates you, by all means you need to check out Hobby Concepts on YouTube. Bob will take you through builds left and right, and that's kind of what happened to me. I got intrigued with the construction equipment, caught on to his channel, and then that was it. He makes it look so easy. And it's not that it's hard, it just takes a lot of time. Very intricate and takes a lot of time. So yeah, let me bring the camera over and we'll check out these trucks. So I think the only way for me to do this is to really film it in hand and not have you on a tripod. So this is a standard Aeromax kit. I drive a King Ranch gold and white, and my last truck was a Lariat that was gold and white. So I decided to go with the gold and white two-tone paint scheme like a lot of the Ford pickups. So again, it was started off as a standard Aeromax. You can buy so many hop-ups for these trucks, it's insane. So this has the plastic bumper on it, but I actually have an alloy bumper. I just didn't feel like painting it at the time and putting it on, but you can buy alloy bumpers. These aren't the kit wheels. These are, I think, extra speed and maybe a couple of RC four-wheel drive. I wanted the white alloy wheels like a real truck would have. So the realism is crazy. When you look at it, it's actually lug nuts holding that together. So it's insane. So yeah, the detail in this. So this has a GT Power Plus, I believe, light and sound kit in it. It does not have the Tamiya MFC. All the roof lights work, the headlights work, brake lights work, everything works. So this truck was stretched 7 inches. So there's your GT Power Pro controls there. It looks a lot like the MFC control. It's about $150 cheaper. So for the money, it's not bad, but there's definitely the MFC. The MFC from Tamiya, the multifunction control unit, is a way better unit. So when the GT Power is working, the blinker lights do not sync with the blinker sound. So it's blinking with the sound when the light is off, not on. So it's little things like that, right? So it's just with the Tamiya one, it's top notch. It still has the air sound, the air brakes releasing sound. It's got all the horn features. It's got a lot of the same features, but it just doesn't have, it's just not as fine tuned. So all the taillights work on this truck. This was built to be, like a heavy hauler work truck from like Canada. So I stretched it 7 inches. I put the triple axle on. These are solid frame rails. Some of the stretch kits you get, it's just extensions with a piece that unites the original chassis to the lengthened part. You can buy this C-channel at Home Depot and drill all the holes yourself if you wanted to. I ended up buying pre-drilled rails from Semi Joe's Semi Shop. I don't know that he's doing them anymore. I'm trying to find a stretched grand hauler for my ramp truck because I want to do a ramp truck, but I want to do it with a sleeper. And the ramp truck bed I'm going to show you is designed for a grand hauler chassis, but you cut the sleeper off of it to make it a day cab. And I want to do a sleeper ramp truck, which sounds a little bit not normal, but it's just what I want to do. So I'm going to have to take a grand hauler chassis and actually stretch it the length of the sleeper, which is about 6 or 7 inches. So the truck is going to be huge. This truck right now is about the size of a grand hauler, and I forget how long it is, but it's like 31 inches long. It's crazy. So this exhaust, this is a Lesu exhaust. It's all metal. It's all alloy. There's no plastic. I've got all Lesu drive shafts that are like real UJs. So the Tamiya kits come with dog bones, and you'll see that on the globe liner. And then instead of the plastic axle housings, I've got the Lesu alloy axle housings. So it's really hard to get all your wiring up in a nice clean way. A lot of times people will use spiral wrap or something. And then these aren't the Tamiya tires. These are Lesu winter tires. So they have a heavy tread on them. They run about $10 a set or so. So when I built this truck, all metal bracketry, all metal cross members. There's not a lot of Tamiya left on the truck short of the body. So when you lift it up, let's see if I can get you underneath here. So this is a metal transmission case from Extra Speed, and I also have the brass Extra Speed gears inside. So there's no plastic gears. It's still got the 3-speed, but it's all brass. And then I've got an 80 turn motor in this thing, right? So this thing is all about torque, and it's all about hauling. So the reason I built this truck, again, if you look at those drive shafts, they are real scale drive shafts all the way through. Leaf sprung with the friction shocks. That's where your battery goes. But this truck was built by me for this trailer. And this trailer, I bought it out of Hong Kong. I wish I could say I built it, but I didn't. This is all aluminum, all wood and aluminum, powder coated, all aluminum hubs or wheels, all aluminum axles. It does have the flip feature, right? So you'll see low beds on the road where the wheels, there's another set of wheels up top for when they're hauling a heavy load. So that flips down, and then there's a little pin that will thread in to hold that axle in place. And then you can light this thing up to the hilts if you want. I have not put any lighting in yet. I've left it bone stock the way I got it. Again, this has the heavy pattern wheels, tires on it. You can put lights in the back. You can put lights in the back here for when it's flipped up. And then you can light this thing all the way down the sides. You can just drill holes and light it. But all aluminum. The trailer alone weighs probably 35 pounds. You see, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this while holding it. But essentially, sorry for the view and the shaking. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can put this in a way that it's not going to fall down. That's probably going to fall down, but yeah, it fell down. See, I'm not a professional. I just wanted to show you. So this connects. There's 2 holes here that are slotted up, and this was painted, not powder coated, so it scratches very easy, but whatever, it's a work truck for me. So when you look underneath, all this is a jack screw that lifts and lowers this thing down off the truck when it's comes off the hitch. That's all aluminum, right? So that whole pin, this is all machined, very heavy duty. You can see that's the motor in there, but it's essentially just a jack screw. And when it's on the truck, it's just going to lift and lower this unit. It's just going to lift and lower this unit up and down so that it can pull out and leave the low bed for whatever construction piece I'm backing up on here. So you want to talk about scale stuff. This is it. It doesn't get any better. See, that's locked in already. That's it there. So that unpins. So yeah, that's the truck and trailer. And you say, boy, that trailer's 56 inches long, right? My bench is 5 feet. I believe my bench is 5 feet. So yeah, it's 56 inches long. So that's how, I mean, truck and trailer, you're at like, I think it's like 79 inches or something. It's crazy. So obviously, you know, this is a rig that's meant to haul. And when I put my construction equipment on it, my dozer weighs 63 pounds. Fully remote control, full hydraulic. It's got outrunner brushless motors powering hydraulic pumps. And that's going to be part 2 video, is I'm going to bring up all my construction equipment. So I've got a loader, I've got a rock truck, I've got a dozer, and I've got an excavator. And so that trailer is just, you know, my boys and I actually set up a mine site in the yard, and we mine RC, and that's what all of this equipment is for. So this was my hauling truck to bring the machines out, and then we actually use the equipment. I built the trommel. I built conveyor belts, and so yeah. I mean, it's a cool idea. I know some people are probably like, "Oh, you should film that." Well, there's already a show called YouTube Gold on YouTube. Medic did it with RC Sparks, and I'm not interested in trying to pull that off. It took way too much for him to do it. And as much as it would make for cool content, if you want to see YouTube Gold, just search it and you'll see 3 seasons of him operating the same machinery that I have. And he did a phenomenal job producing those shows. But yeah, I'm going to cut you off for just a second, and I'll bring another truck up here. I'm going to show you the tow truck, the Mammoth dump, and I'm going to show you the globe liner, and then I'll show you the King Hauler kit. Be right back. All right, so here we have the tow truck, the Tamiya tow truck. So this truck I've been working on for a year. I'm actually building it for a friend of mine who owns a towing company, so that's why it's in the metallic red instead of the box art yellow. His trucks are all metallic red. So metallics are hard. I realized it's full of dust, but when I realized when I painted this thing that you really have to paint the parts in the plane that you're going to see it. So if you paint the door flat and then put it up, it's going to have a different appearance than another part that may have been painted standing up. So you end up with a lot of flashing. Decals are obviously going to take care of a lot of that. The paint finish is beautiful. The paint color is beautiful, but you do get those flashing effects where the doors might look like they're a different color than the rest of the truck just because of the way that the piece was laid when it was painted. But all the doors open up on these things. They all have magnetic catches for the doors. So this one is bone stock, other than I put the actuator set in to actually lift and lower the boom. That does not come with the truck. That's an extra feature. And then I did put the MFC 01, which is the European truck MFC in this truck. So that's the control unit there. So you can see it looks a lot like the GT Power, or the GT Power one looks a lot like the Tamiya one. The battery goes in right here. These lights work. The corner lights work. The roof lights work. All of the tail lights work. In the back, there's tail lights here and on the other side. These are all just holes that it's how the screw is behind that to put it in, but I have seen people light those somehow. I'm not sure if they figured out a different way to screw the sides on, and then they use those actual screw holes for 3mm lights. But you can see inside, these all have full interiors, but this is just a mess of wiring in there. So I've got a lot of wiring left to go on this. When I turn it around. So both front axles steer on this, right? So I mean, it's seriously like the real deal. It actually comes with wheel chocks. So these are the limit switches for the up and down. I still have to get those positioned. And then, I mean, if you're crafty, you can put real winches, like crawler winches on there. And then that's the controller for the actual actuator motor. It's essentially the ESC, and then you can toggle switch it up and down if you want to. But it will run off the MSC as well. And then the MSC obviously runs all of your light functions and your headlights, fog lights, blinkers, brake lights, reverse lights. It's the whole 9 yards. And then this piece, right, so that's your toe part. They call that the stinger. And then you can actually unpin it so that it wobbles back and forth side to side. And then you can stretch it out further too if you wanted to. So definitely a ton of work. But it's rewarding, right? So you get through the chassis and you're like, that's one big hurdle. And then you literally have, I don't know, there's got to be over 100 body pieces to paint to put this truck together. It's a ton of work, but it's an awesome experience. So I've said it a number of times, if you've never built one of the semi trucks, they are expensive, but you absolutely will not regret the experience. Definitely not for a beginner, not by any means, but someone who's built, if you've built 10 cars or 10 kits in your lifetime, you can build one of these. And you really, it's not hard technically. You just have to think your way through the wiring, the lights and everything. The directions that Tamiya gives you are awesome, but it's intimidating, but it's not hard. So yeah, let me kick this off and we'll bring another one up. So welcome to the Mammoth dump. So believe it or not, this is a Juggernaut 2. Which is crazy. Now this truck is huge, don't get me wrong. They call it a Mammoth dump for a reason. So when I build my trucks, I use these Fly Sky radios. I sent Glenn one in one of the videos. I've got all of my trucks are on one radio. I think it holds 20 models. So yeah, it does go up and down. So the way I wired this one is, it's electronic speed control instead of the mechanical speed control. It is very quick. I probably should put a higher turn motor in it. But it is what it is. I put the stock motor. So it does come with the same lift mechanism as the tow truck. But it's a little bit funkier the way that it wires. So I actually wired it with a second speed control. I don't know where it is. There's one here and there's another one somewhere else. It might be underneath. It's probably underneath, but I put a second speed control in it just to run that electric motor. And so the way that I run this on my radio is this one here is up and down. There's no limit switches, so you just have to stop it when it stops. And then your forward and turning is on the left-hand toggle. So forward, back, left and right. So it's all on one toggle, which is actually a little bit easier to run that way. That's how a lot of my other trucks and construction equipment is set up. So yeah, it just makes it easier. Now, how would this work in a digging environment and dumping? It feels pretty strong, but you'll see in the next video, this thing is nothing compared to my fully hydraulic rock truck. Now, Tamiya did a great job. They are a toy, I'm not going to call them a toy company. They're an RC company that makes hobby grade stuff. The stuff that's coming out of China and even more so like Germany. I mean, there's guys in Germany making fully hydraulic chipper trucks that actually chip logs. It's insane, the technology, right? So a fully metal articulating rock truck is impressive, but it's nothing compared to the stuff coming out of Germany. And you figure the time period that this was made in the 90s, this was next level. There was nothing else around that did anything or looked like anything that Tamiya did. And they just haven't done anything since. So yeah, let's move this one on and we'll get to the next one. So this is my bone stock globe liner. So this was a vintage kit I got from Taiwan Kenny about a year and a half ago. And I needed something to build while I was on vacation. So I brought this with me camping, and over the course of a week in my camper, I built my globe liner, or this globe liner. So I painted it, and I painted it, it's the TS47. So it's a little bit more of like that vintage yellow than like a TS16 would be kind of right in your face. I actually got the New Hampshire license plates to go on it. And then in this truck, I put an LED lighting kit in it, right? So what works? The blinkers work, the headlights work, the fog lights work down at the bottom, and then all the tail lights work. So I did not put a sound kit in this truck, but I did put a light kit, and then I just used a regular electronic speed control. This has the Tamiya tires on it with the Tamiya plastic wheels. It's got the Tamiya axle housings, and then, I mean, the detail on it, you can see, this one, you can see the cab in there, right? So the steering wheel and the seats. So this one has the plastic housings, not like my Aeromax, and then you can see the dog bone drive shafts. And then it's got the plastic Tamiya 3-speed gear set. So a little bit, I just wanted to build one vintage. I wanted to build one. Not everyone needs to be a custom build and spend it because it gets pricey. So this is metal, comes from Tamiya metal. This is metal, but the inner is plastic. You can spend tons and tons and tons of money on these things, right? So I'm not going to build every truck to the hilt. It just costs too much. So this one I wanted to build just bone stock, and I love it just for the way it is, just that vintage globe liner look. Definitely a shorty compared to the Aeromax, but an all-around fun build. I would recommend this as a first build for somebody. The Aeromax is fine too as a first build if you don't get crazy with the hop-ups. So yeah, an awesome truck. And like I said, I've got another kit that came in. I'd like to build another one custom at some point, but not anytime soon. So we're going to move this one on. Give you one last look at it. It does have an awesome look to it. Just that cab over design, early design. I mean, you can buy everything you can buy in metal. These are metal already, but you can buy the steps in metal, you can get the tanks in metal, the fenders in metal, the wheels in metal. Lesu does a ton of hop-ups for these trucks. You can get a metal visor for it. You know, I love it with the aerial on it. It looks so old and vintage. I just love it. So yeah, let me put this down. Actually, while I have this up, Sorry, I'm tripping over my stand. You guys know I'm not a professional. While I have this up, I'm going to show you this tilt deck. So this comes from RCP. You can find him on Facebook. If you want to watch a build of one of these, you can go again on Bob on Hobby Concepts. That's how I found this set. So this is a ramp truck bed that you buy, and then you fit it on. It's supposed to go on a grand hauler chassis, but you're supposed to cut the cab, the night cab off of it, or the sleeper. So this is all wood. This is all metal. He hand fabricates these himself. This is the headache rack. This is all metal, stamped RCP, front and rear, right? So that means that's a two-piece unit. It doesn't look like it's two-piece, but it's absolutely two-piece because it's raised on both sides. So this bolts in when you're building it. It's got a spot where you can bolt a winch to pull cars up and on. And then it also comes with, this is all part of the kit that he offers. So this is your mud flaps that go on the back. You can fully light the back of this. He's already got the lenses in there, right? So you can light that whole part, and then you can get your mud flaps in behind your wheels. He even 3D prints the hydraulic levers to go underneath it, like you see on a real tow truck, right? So just unbelievable. His name is Reg. Absolute gentleman. These are not cheap. Be prepared to spend some money if you want to order one of these, but you're not going to find one anywhere else. So this is a dual action. So this lifts up and ramps back at the same time. So it looks like it's got one power lead here. It comes with an extension kit, and there's one power lead here. So that might be, that's an S cable. So yeah, you hook both of those up to one of your auxiliary ports, and then a lot of people will put it on a dial, and then as you turn the dial, it lifts up and goes back, and then you turn the dial the other way and it pulls forward and drops down. So literally a power tilt deck. So this would be sitting on the truck. Let's see if I can hold it right. You know, you have to imagine it sitting on the truck like that with the axles all the way back. Absolutely killer with that headache rack on it and everything. So that's for a future build at some point. Probably not going to end up on the channel. Maybe I'll show it when it's done. But I like to work on these trucks. That's my Keith time. When I'm not doing YouTube and I'm not with my family. Seems to be less and less of that nowadays with YouTube. But that's all right. I love the vintage stuff. So this is kind of taking a back seat. But it's always there for when I want to tinker with it. So let me put this stuff to the side. I'm going to bring up this kit. We'll take a look at it, and then we can shut the video down with a closing. Beautiful. So I actually wanted a metallic Aeromax because I'm a Ford guy, right? But you can't find those things. They're like, even I can't find one. And I can pretty much find kits when I'm looking for them. So Kenny used to have all of them in the metallics. He had every truck, and so I reached out to him. I'm like, what do you have in metallic trucks? He's like, I sold them all. I'm like, you're kidding me. He's like, let me take a look around and see if I can find one. So he emailed me and told me that there was a King Hauler Chrome Edition that was on Yahoo auction site in Japan. I told him what my number was, and he won it. He was able to get it done. So I think I got a good price on it. Nowhere near the 1,000 or 1,100 you see on eBay. Not even half that. So yeah, I think I did very well on it. So I'm gonna make a chrome hauler out of this truck. I may do it on a grand hauler chassis, and I'll probably go crazy with real metal polished alloy when I build it. I'm definitely going to do the Lesu axle housings, but I think they actually do them in straight aluminum now, not powder coated. And I'm going to chrome it up. And this is going to be the chrome hauler. So you're going to have to bear with me because I'm going to try to take this box top off while I'm filming. See that? Maybe I am a professional sometimes. So this is the presentation of the kit, right? The semi kits, the frame rails are kind of always in the middle. Got to have your aerial. So when you open it up, you do have your blister packs. I don't know why they do the shocks in that anodized pink. The blister packs are kind of pulling apart a little bit, but that's fine. It is what it is. I apologize. I probably shouldn't be trying to fix it on film. But then, you know, you've got, this is all of your parts bags, and your wheels and tires are in here. And then you've got the important part as far as this kit goes, all of your chrome. So that's your bumper, your mud guards, all of your chrome parts. And then you've got your fuel tanks, steps, more fuel tanks, and grills. There's a lot of chrome already on this truck, which is cool. And then you've got that chrome body. Look at that thing. So yeah, this, I was psyched to get this. This thing is going to be next level when it's done. Kenny, if you're watching, thank you again for pulling it off. Sorry, I'm filming my room, which is absolutely disgusting. So yeah, Kenny, thank you if you're watching this for getting it done for me. I do really appreciate it. So yeah, that's the presentation of a truck kit. They all kind of look like that. The Grand Hauler, they all have a little section of blister packs. This one has the front axle, some leaf springs. It's got diff gears. These are the spline shafts for the 3-speed transmission. And then these are diff shafts here. And then it's got diff gears or whatever. Then there's our exhaust stacks up at the top. And then these, so these frame rails are as wide as this box. They got to be 30 inches. They're probably somewhere around 30 inches on a King Hauler. So big truck. So yeah, at some point I'll build this. It definitely won't be on the channel though. Maybe I'll show the finished truck when it's all done. But the build itself just is, it's too long of a build to try to film. That's why Glenn did it in pictures. He kind of just showed you pictures, and it took him a week, you know, just to do that truck. And that was like 8 hours a day, every day, right? So when you start putting 40 hours into a truck, and that's bone stock, that's without messing around with an MFC or lights or any of that stuff. I mean, you can literally have 60 to 80 hours into one of these things, and it's just too hard to get that on film. I think Gavin did a decent job with it when he built his truck, but it's just so much to show you, you know. But whatever, it is what it is. So there's a picture of the gears in the gearbox, right? So first gear, it's got 1 to 32. Second one is 1 to 17, and the third gear is 1 to 10. But you put that in combination with like an 80 turn motor, and this thing is just a torque city. There's the gearbox there, right? So that's what you got to put together. Not overly difficult if you follow the directions, but the directions have you flipping the shafts from one way to the other, so it's very easy to get yourself confused. But the trick to these is, once you build it, put your motor on, take a D battery, hold it on both sides, and you can actually test it, make sure it's working right. Pull on the lever, change the speeds. A single D battery on any brushed motor will run it enough to make sure that your mesh is good, everything is good, without having to power it up with an actual ECU, if you guys didn't know that. So that's it. Let me put the view back to the normal view. We'll get a closing done. I know this video is probably getting long. And look out for part 2, where I actually show you the heavy equipment. So that's going to wrap up this episode of the heavier side of RC icons. I had to think of something. So yeah, if you like the video, I'm glad you did. I know it's different. Obviously, I'm trying to do a vintage RC channel, and I'm showcasing semi-trucks. But this was based on not one commenter. There was a few commenters that really wanted to see these trucks. So for the people that didn't ask to see them, I hope that you enjoyed it at the very least. I hope it was intriguing for you. Look out for part 2, where I show the construction equipment. That stuff is just next level. The excavator's 43 pounds. The dozer is 63 pounds. The rock truck is over 40, and the loader as well is over 40. All of them have lights. All of them but the excavator have sound kits. They're just unbelievable models. They're pricey, but they're unbelievable. They're worth every penny. So if you haven't already subscribed and turned on your notifications, if you want to see the part 2 video, make sure that you're subscribed and you turn on your notifications. Let me know in the comments what you think. I know this isn't typical of what you see on this channel, but at the very least, it's at least this one was Tamiya. The next one, there won't be any Tamiya shown at all. What do you think of the Mammoth dump on a Juggernaut 2 chassis? For the time period that thing came out, absolutely epic. I'm glad I got one, and I'm glad I was able to build it. I wish I could have showed you the kit presentation, because it was unbelievable, but I don't have a new unbox of that. Not to say that there won't be one in the future. But until next time, we'll see you soon. Thanks.